Bellular's Final Fantasy XIV journey and future content plans. Ooh, he's gonna put a ring on it. You guys ready to see Bellular put a ring on it? I have it here to watch today.
I can see a lot of people getting to like Shadowbringers and being like, or to a certain part in Heavenward's patch content and going, what in the fuck is going on here? But it's all stuff that's explained to you and stuff that will be explained later. So if there's ever a point where you're going, what's going on? It's like you can have faith that it actually that will be capitalized.
This was
on
part of the previous video
in some capacity, which really means you have to have your brain on, remember everything you're told, or at least have someone who remembers it all, like Matt from our Discord, who you hit any question.
In my case, this was Cosbos and Muse. Like whenever I was at a moment that I was like, I don't really remember this because I have a goldfish brain. Muse, Cosbos, save me! Tell me what this part of the story was because I don't remember it. I was very lucky.
He's got the answer right away. He's a don't know what to call him outside of a genius FF hero, but
yeah, I think there's three supers that are kind of supporting to this.
Yeah.
Eternal Fellow saying, can't wait to see Bell deal with the moral questions he'll have to wrestle with from villains by the time he hits Shadowbringers. Me too.
Oh!
Thank you for the super and me too. Yes, that's been built up to me. We've got Gavin Schmackle saying, glad you guys are covering one of my favorite games. Here's a month sub on me. First of all, cheers. Second, I mean, man, yeah.
He's going to cry. That's why he doesn't want to do it on stream. He's going to cry. They're going to break you, Bellular. You'll see. They're going to break you down. They broke Jesse Cox. You guys have seen the Jesse Cox reaction to the ending of Shadowbringers? Those of you who finished Shadowbringers? They broke that man down. Broke him down in tears. Me, I very manly told the tears to get back up into my eye when I was going through that cutscene. I was like, gotta be careful not to crack my voice when I talk to the microphone next. So I'd like have these long pauses to kind of like compose myself during the ending of Shadowbringers. And not just the ending of Shadowbringers, that very special moment in Heavensward that you probably all know what I'm talking about. And other moments throughout the story, like in Stormblood, that other moment that you guys probably know as well. Like all of those moments, I'm just like holding it in. Like there's a knot in your throat, just like, can't crack my voice on stream, gonna look like a little bitch. Didn't cry during Shadowbringers ending. Yes, you did. Don't lie. Either that or you're a sociopath. I don't know.
Seems like this is so many people's one of their favorite games and like a massive intersect with the WoW audience as well. Nino here saying, isn't it nice to play an MMO and to have its music on? Soken is a gift to this world.
Really is.
The music so far has been so good. And I know I'm only in Realm Reborn.
I believe a lot of Realm Reborn was actually composed by Uematsu, the usual FF composer.
Well, I really like his music.
Soken.
It's like... It's because they used a lot of the music from 1.0, which was by Uematsu. But I think Soken like remastered some of it and, kind of just like did small touch-ups. But, in Heavensward and Stormblood, then Soken just kind of like took over.
Did a lot of arrangement for it as well.
Gotcha.
And then Soken takes over in the biggest way later on, where he does where he does all of it to the point where he is the Guinness World Record for, this is actually later in the document, he has the Guinness World Record for most original tracks in a game.
Whoa.
Yep, something like 386, and that was like 4 years ago.
Damn.
That's a complete lunatic.
Yeah, it's funny because like I do enjoy WoW's music.
Yeah.
Especially like whenever WoW is more chilled out, I really like it. So TBC, it's got one of the, I think TBC and Wrath have got like some of the best soundtracks WoW has ever had.
Wrath is the best. Like, listen, Wrath is the best, hands down. When it comes to the soundtrack, I mean, Wrath is just the best that World of Warcraft ever has been and ever will be. It's just that simple. Like, it's never gonna get better than Wrath. Like, what was the play? It was the Howling Fjord. Like, look, the Howling Fjord theme is legit amazing. I really, really like it. Let me see if it's this one, right? Yeah, look at it. It's legit good. When you're questing throughout that zone and you're just listening to the tracks, it is actually some of the best stuff. But you know, it's still, even World of Warcraft at its best can't even scratch. It can't even scratch 14.
Track where the soundtrack is supporting the mood of gameplay and the sort of the zones that you're in. My main criticism of the modern WoW stuff is sometimes it's just too big. It's too big of a sound. It's too full of a sound. It goes too orchestral too quick, I find. Whereas, you know, when it was Russell Brower just chilling, having to do the best out of his, I forget the name of it. It's like a big synthy thing that you can do a lot of orchestral stuff on from that time.
God damn it,
I think
YouTube.
Russell, of that, he's like one of the people with the
Stop
most
doing me
plugins or most
dirty.
something, because he, I don't know, spent loads of time. And I remember him talking about it. But yeah, I feel like sometimes WoW was just like too big, too loud. And there's just been something really nice with the FF stuff so far. Yeah. So yeah, it's been honestly a really awesome experience, and I cannot wait to do more. We've got JAO also supering to say, where can I see you stream the game? I want to see reactions to the boss fights, certain cutscenes.
You can't.
I see, that's big. Right. I actually care about the game and the experience enough not to stream it.
Yeah.
And that's a weird thing. with
AKIS
me,
93,
maybe, but,
thank you very much for becoming
you know, if
grossly
I am kind of doing
Tip of the
content
hat.
I'm comfortable with,
Appreciate
I'm
the support.
sort of
Thank
fine
you.
and happy to stream that. But for me, in a game like FF, I want to be entirely immersed. And if I'm sitting there thinking about, okay, I've got to be entertaining to everybody, I've got to read chat and see what the crack is with them. It's like in a game like this, I just have a feeling that I really need to play it as a completely immersive story, free from all of that stuff, you know, just so that I can really get the most out of it. Because it's this thing, right? See, when you're streaming,
He's definitely right. There was a little bit that was lost in me streaming. There was also stuff that was gained, but for instance, a lot of times I would get a little bit burned out on 14, specifically because I was voice acting every single chat bubble. That was insane. That was actually insane. That was up until I got to the Evilist raids where I just said, okay, guys, I can't, because these Evilist raids, man, I can't handle it. That's insane. Reading all of this stuff, that is insane. That broke me. And then I went back to reading when we were done with the Evilist raids. But yeah, it's a lot to read so much out loud. The problem is not even me reading it. Like, I don't mind reading it at all. What bothered me was having to read it out loud. Like, at some points, I would actually be out of breath because on top of it, the way in which I speak English, like, I wish that I could, you know, maybe find some kind of like a very specific speech therapist or something like that. Because the way in which I speak English, I feel like it actually hurts my body sometimes over the fact of how much I use my throat to eliminate my accent, if that makes sense. The problem is, I've been doing it for so long, I don't know how to do it any other way. But let's just say that the way that I speak English, that sounds natural, which is why a lot of times people think that I'm actually American. The way in which I speak English is probably not the right way from a physical, I don't know how to say it, but like from a healthy physical standpoint. It's probably unhealthy the way in which I speak English for like my muscles, my vocal cords, and all of that stuff. And I definitely feel that.
you're never 100% in your brain. Like you're always just a little bit thinking about the meta of, okay, I'm streaming, I've got to do a good job for everybody watching. You know, they're throwing their time and their money into this. I have to deliver the goods.
Yeah, you're presenting for people like
Yeah. Where, you know, I'd worry if that would make it harder to be deeply sort of deeply engaged.
Yeah.
But in, you know, I will be providing you with weekly updates via this as everything goes. And we already have one video queued up for next week in the channel, and we will have more on the main channel.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm very excited about all this.
And to say that you'd be distracted while streaming is absolutely completely true, because I have found myself being a little bit too distracted. First being on Discord with people, even during like the more gentle bits of MSQ. Later on, where I'm just reading some quest text, nothing big is going on. I'm just kind of paying attention to what's been said. And even when I have like Twitter open on another monitor. Because I actually, one of the reasons I threw up my second monitor, 'cause I usually only use one, but I threw up a second one in portrait so I could read guides.
Hey,
and
Kagrin.
talk to the boys on Discord
Yeah.
while I was playing some endgame stuff. I'm like, you know what? I almost like there was a time I was like, I want to rip this monitor off this arm and throw it out the window, just because I can feel it's pulled some of my like memory from like this specific like couple of bits of dialogue away. So that's a fairly major thing where I feel like I really feel like I'm wasting my time if I'm not giving it my full attention. At least during MSQ stuff. Obviously, if you're in a dungeon, do whatever like, or if you're playing the game.
Yeah, we've got SOJH Soj17 saying
Stone of
"While I
Jordan.
like seeing reactions, I'd rather you appreciate it. You're most immersed. Thank you. That's how I want to do it, and I think that will mean that when it comes to me doing impressions content or just any content, I'll be able to give you like an actual player's experience. It's one of those things where like it's sometimes hard to trust. I don't mean hard to trust streamers and YouTubers and like journalists in the game space, but it's like. I mean, Young actually did a video about this recently on his channel, I noticed, where he basically apologized for Cyberpunk and, you know, how he reviewed it and stuff. And a lot of that's just because, man, you only have so many days to do a thing. It's all content, and that changes how you appreciate it, how you engage with it. I'd rather just go a bit slower and, you know, hopefully do it a bit more right. And we've also got Cass saying, if you do stream it, which I don't recommend, put the channel on emote only or remove it. No spoilers.
Yeah.
That's probably how I do it.
Actually, that's not really I mean, then again, I'm a much smaller streamer than Bellular, so maybe I don't really have a frame of reference, a proper frame of reference. But from my experience, the Final Fantasy XIV community pretty much policed itself. Like, there were no spoilers. I played through the whole thing in my stream. I played the entirety of the MSQ in my stream, and never once have I been spoiled of anything, regardless of how many people were in chat. Like, I thought that was friggin' impressive. Like, I was expecting it to get spoiled left and right. Not once. Not once. So, yeah. It's like the 14 community kind of like polices itself to make sure that stuff doesn't happen. Jesse Cox had his chat on emote only. Oh. Yeah, you know, I guess when you're a bigger streamer, when you're not a small timer like me, then yeah, it can be a problem. There's a lot of trolls. I've seen them in other chats spoiling stuff. Oh, that sucks. That friggin' sucks.
Because anytime that, like, was it the thing about heroes and smiles or something?
A smile better shoots a hero, yeah.
Yes. It's like anytime someone says that, chat just erupts into emojis. And
you can't just say that!
Which, does make me think.
There's a lot of stuff like that where I definitely feel spoilers, especially like stuff that's like short term would completely wreck your enjoyment of it. Because not because it always pulls out massive things that are like, oh my god, big moments. It's literally just like, if you experience the story as it is, even most of the decent stuff is just like, it's just so much better going in completely. I mean, well, there's a couple of frowny faces, and QQ's after saying, I mean, it's a big phrase. It goes to show how much. It's not gonna say anything about well said or anything, but it's just like, that's a big moment.
We've got a few more sort of playing.
Shadowmancers, thank you very much for being real contestant for 50 months. Tip of the hat. Appreciate the support. Thank you.
Experience certain events with
Shadowmancers, who is also playing the crap out of Final Fantasy XIV. I swear this Bugatti ad.
Well, that'd be too immersion breaking. That it probably wouldn't be. We just need to set up like an actual way to do that. I mean, Dark Cloud also supered saying, would you consider having a friend saying you'll want to clip yourself doing this for fans who want to see your reactions? Totally consider that. And there was another super I wanted to bring into this sort of whole thing, which is from that one's from Dark Cloud. This one from
you got it
from Shadow Tycho, who said, can you record your reactions for certain points though? People will be 100% able to tell you when it will be worth. And there's somebody else said something about Shadowplay, to which all those things I will say, I've already been playing it with Shadowplay on. I will ensure that Shadowplay microphone is on, and I'll be keeping Matt up to date with where I am, and you'll be able to tell me what the bits are. Because certainly I'm more than happy to chuck a camera on whenever I sit and go into the big bit and just see how it goes. Because
that'll be interesting.
From everything that I hear, they seemingly are able to pull off some pretty mind-blowing, just mind-blowing shit in the narrative that it just seems like it's kind of incredible how people are saying Lahi. I don't know what that means, but it seems like it means quite a lot. Yes, Biblioteca. Super saying 2 words that blew the FF14 away, and someday you'll understand. Lahi. I don't know what that means.
It's actually further than this doc. It's not a big spoiler, though. It is further than this doc. It's a bit of music it's referring to. And a big community moment, let's say.
Is that what Soken?
Soken's a hero like it. Yeah. Do you know Lahi?
Do you know Lahi? That song slaps indeed, dude. The Big Bellular video is one of his best in my... Dude, the one that we saw before this one, that was one of the best, where he basically just said, World of Warcraft formats your brain to play games wrong. That was like the best Bellular video that I've ever seen in my whole life. Because he's so right. He is so 100% right. Jesus. Hey, Cepho, what's up, dude? Tip of the hat, Cepho. How you doing, man? Guys, if you aren't following Cepho Rend, you should. Cepho Rend crafted 1,000... what are they called? The origami axes. And then wished that they would put a duck in the game. I hope they give you your... I don't know how to pronounce it. Goku? I don't know if it's Goku. I don't know. But I hope they give it to you, dude.